So, funny enough, I lost in the first 4 days. I felt ill in Oklahoma, lost 18 pounds.
God dang.
Yeah. So, waited to drop that on you. Because when I got there, we were driving to Oklahoma for, I think you already know. The issue was my ulcer, or assuming ulcer, was real painful. So I was like, oh shit. All I wanted to do was make it through home.
Mm-hmm.
Then my wife kept giving me Tums, which I never have Tums. It was never a problem.
Yeah.
Turns out I needed Tums. That was a big help. It relieved a lot of pressure and like pain, which was very convenient.
Tums are good, but sometimes you need a anti-bloating something or other when you got stomach problems. You got to treat all the symptoms, you know?
There's so much shit that happened while I was gone. It is intense, the amount of shit. You know, I'm not going to touch too much on the family drama for first podcast back, but I will say,
put it on the record.
I'll put it on the record. Small update. You know, like I said, when I was gone over the last 10 days, I stayed in contact with family, gave them face-to-face. I'm really not trying to keep the kids from anybody. I want my kids to know my father and my mother and that family. Mm-hmm. I don't want the drama that they bring, that they tend to say they don't bring. Somehow, 4th of July, you got brought into it. Every employee got brought into it.
Yeah.
From my business next door, which is inconvenient, but it was expected to a degree. I just wanted to end. Cool. If I am the one who caused it, absolutely. Have a nice one. We never have to talk about it again. Just leave it there. I'm done with it.
I just love the grabbing for straws or whatever you want to call it with every employee trying to get everybody on one side or the other.
The only thing I'll say is that I sent a video that I found on YouTube to you about how when you distance yourself from a narcissist in your family.
If you are the object of the ire in a narcissistic family and the scapegoat in which the family holds together, that energy doesn't just go away. It has to jump to someone else.
And sure enough, somebody else became the wrath. That's sad, but it is what it is. So from here on out, I'm not going to bring that side of the family into it anymore. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. What I did find out halfway through my Oklahoma trip, which was very enlightening, was that my in-laws had COVID while we were gone. Leslie's parents. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they were with my kids the night before, so test, negative, everything great. The fun part was when they were like, oh, we're going to go take our car in. We're going to do this. We're going to go to the grocery store. What? Quarantine. Like, I wasn't great. When COVID happened, I was not fantastic with COVID. I was like, oh, this is BS. This is the government trying to control us, lizard people stuff. Absolutely. Lizard people are out there. It's lizard brain mentality, not like literally lizard
not
people.
Lizard. No extraterrestrials here.
The problem is there's people who like follow the trends and follow the media, and that's my opinion. And then they get a lizard brain. There are people who are still to this day think that January 6th wasn't an insurrection. It was a fight for the ballot. It was definitely somebody trying to retain power who lost power. I don't care how he lost it. He lost it legally. There you go. Step the fuck down. Transfer of power. It was the ugliest transfer of power
Pretty sure
I've
it was
ever seen.
the first ever to fucking go down like that.
Hopefully. First only.
First and only.
But there's so much shit this week. People are talking about DeSantis running for office, talking about Trump running with DeSantis possibly. And then there was a prime minister that was assassinated. What the fuck?
Oh,
Japan.
That shit's wild.
That's not fucking assassin. When's the last time there was an assassination?
The Archduke Franz Ferdinand? Like
what? Jesus.
That's the last famous one I know.
Oh, but last assassination.
I'm sure there's plenty of assassinations, but that's...
When's the last one in the U.S.? Presidential assassination. 4 U.S. presidents have been murdered while in office, and all were brought down by gunfire. Rarity of the Abe assassination in 2 charts. Let me show people who are viewing this instead of listening. No, I don't want to. What the fuck?
I got a list of people who have survived assassination attempts.
It says right here.
People tried to kill Justin Trudeau. God dang.
What's trending in U.S. news right now? Trending news.
I do have a super funny.
Look at this. New York, Donald Trump considers another White House run. Polls show he's the most popular figure in Republican Party. No shit. Republicans love and eat him up for no fucking reason. It's like, I feel like the Republican Party, and I'm going to say this even though I fall more into a conservative Republican view, I still think he is bad for the country as a person. You take some of his politics, cool, he's got some good politics on certain issues, but it's cherry picking. So because it's cherry picking, it's not valid. It's only because he's been there, and I can say, okay, I liked a few things about him, but I did not want him to run again. It was not my intention. Oprah Winfrey's father died, and then Musk abandons deal to buy Twitter. Oh, wow.
He's after all the fight money, he's just like...
Well, now he says to buy Twitter, company says it will sue. So they're going to sue him for the time, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are saying that there's 50% accounts instead of 5% that are fake, which I would agree.
Gotta be. There's so many bots I run into on Twitter.
Not even just that. I get advertisements every day to boost our Twitter followers. Hey, I can give you 5,000, 10,000, 50,000. I don't give a shit about Twitter.
There's no way they're getting people to do it.
It's not real people. I know people who will share your account who have 200, 300,000 followers on Instagram and get you real verified people to follow your Instagram page for a course amount. Hey, subscribe 3 months, $1,500 a month. I'll get you to 80K.
But they're putting in the work. They're pimping you out to people.
They're pimping you out.
They're not.
You have to have a service or something. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, my man in California, he does electronics, he does micro soldering, he does rug tufting, he does 3D printing, does a little bit of everything. My handyman in California, I can call him for anything. Bam, he does this. Here's his ad signal. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But you get the people who are like, this is James. He's a good guy to follow. You should check out his pictures. It all has the Lux filter, and he can show you how to do, photos. Like and follow for more. That's how a lot of those people are. Mm-hmm. But you get a bunch of bots that are just click, heart, react, the same thing 100 times, and then they're paying thousands and probably millions of dollars over the entire U.S.
You also get people who have skimmed old abandoned accounts, gained access to them, and then now use them as a bot network. You're not seeing that stuff?
No, I haven't
a
seen
lot
that
of you've been on Twitter. You've seen the accounts where it's some dumb post. It's hilarious. It's got 6 million retweets, and then their next top 8 comments are them like, ladies, buy a vibrator from here. Mm-hmm. Dudes, I got your supplements. Those are bot accounts. They know the algorithm. They know how to work it, and then they
get a lot of trending words, click
space, use their
stuff
bots
like that
to trend it more, to trend their comments to push product.
Yeah,
you see a lot of that.
It's a problem because I personally don't feel like pushing any of the social media for during business. Sorry, guys. I don't feel like pushing this social media the same way most do. You want to follow? Cool. Come view, hang out, do whatever. We're going to start doing lives pretty soon. Hang out. We'll do some reactions.
The worst you do is you like it, share it.
Yeah.
Please.
We'll get some funny moments. Lots of family. We're not going to call it drama, but lots of family interactions. But it's straightforward content because the world revolves around time and in exchange for time. If we're going to have these conversations, we're going to have it on air. It's going to be out there. Mm-hmm. It's much easier to record it and play it back for somebody who might be interested in something we got going on. The idea of moving to Oklahoma went from a year away to now it's 6 months.
Couple months, yeah.
To 2 months away. So for those who haven't heard, I took a trip for 10 days to Oklahoma. 4th of July, kids, take them out there, see how I like it, how we like. The problem with Oklahoma, the downright problem that I have, the heat, the weather.
At least it's a dry heat.
I know. Some people deal with it. I sweat. I lose a lot of weight. As I said, I wasn't feeling well. So on top of that, with driving through Texas, I was just, everything was going through me. It was not fun. But luckily, I didn't have to drive the whole way. A fucking Tesla was the best thing I had ever paid for. I will never crack a Tesla joke again. I've had it for, 3 years now, and I've not taken that long of a trip. It was 26 hours supposedly there, not including, here's the thing I found out, not including the fucking charge time. So it was more like 32 hours with 6 hours of charging, meals, etc. So we take 2 whole 16-hour days, plus like a 4-hour charge in between.
Fast charge, check in.
Yeah, but some of them were faster than others, and when they were full, it would go to like 20 minutes to almost an hour charging. The cost was the same. It's all about the kilowatt per hour. But the problem was that it was estimating a time that was not truthful. So Elon Musk, I'm a little fucking pissed. I went into this thinking it was going to be like a single day straight on through, and it turned out to be 2 full days. We ended up seeing some sights. We saw the meteor, the world's second biggest ball of yarn, which was not the first. No, that's in Minnesota.
That's breaking my heart.
It's so bad. New Mexico.
Nobody cares about the second biggest anything.
It was not the same at all. It was like a ball this big that I saw on a TV show and was like, oh, okay, cool.
You're like, cool.
But the meteor was really fucking cool. The meteor hit in New Mexico, and then there was a spot that was in there, and then there was, the Grand Canyon we drove through. There was Las Vegas on the way there, of course. Kids were loving all the different, here's what it is. My daughter has an iPod, so she takes pictures. Different selfies. Even at 6 years old, she's a little media star.
Keep it going. Get her famous.
Exactly. Every
She'll
little
take
place.
care of you when you're old.
Oh, I hope so. It's just less narcissism.
Here's a house. Leave me alone. And you're like, love you. Thanks.
Love
bye.
Paid for. Great. But it was fun. And the kids didn't have a problem until the last 2 hours of the leg there. Because, of course, then it was, when are we going to be there? When are we going to be there? And if she's not having a good time, he's not having a good time. But the remainder of the time was like, you want candy? You want cookies? You want this? Whatever they wanted, they got. So they were content. When we got there, then it was a little stricter. But reeling them in after 26 hours of getting your way, then my daughter was not so happy. And she loves her cousin. Loves her cousin. Problem being, her cousin was more like friendly and sharing with her at first, but after a while she was almost argumentative because she was now in a new space and it wasn't her house. She couldn't make decisions, so she kept having to follow. But she was a bit emotional after the first couple of days. It wasn't normal for her. So I was very like, I'm sorry, she's not normally like this.
I'm always surprised how grown up she conducts herself, but that's just because
she was definitely not like that there.
Yeah, because she's in a spot where no one else treats her as much. Here's choices. Here's your information.
Oh yeah, everyone gets on me about giving a 6-year-old choices and opinion.
She's
like
gonna make dumb
words.
choices, and you can curve from there. But it's still she has to learn.
I'm hoping giving a child respect from the beginning is the best option, because like one thing I realized over this trip to Oklahoma was I do not discipline my daughter the same as my son. Like my son throws a fit, goes out of line, he gets turned upside down, red bottom, here you go, shape up. And so he's gotten to the way where if I call him in a certain way, you'll see him turn and just go and grab his cheeks.
He's like, no.
In trouble? What? No, Daddy. Yeah. So he got a lot more discipline over the last couple of weeks than she did, and I just kind of like broke it down in my head like, okay. So we had a couple of incidents where she needed to shape up. Nothing crazy, but she got really bad sunburn. The first day she was out in the sun all day. The first day we were there, full day. And then day 3 through 7, she was miserable, but still trying to have fun, but like stuck in a permanent cast like this.
Trying to not move the burn or nothing.
The one thing I'll say that was very unexpected when we were 3 hours away, I think I told you about this. My wife and her cousin tend to talk every single day, all day. All day. We were like, all right, if we go out to Oklahoma, should we get a spot in Enid? Should we get a spot in Woodward, Tulsa? Should we get a hotel so we can actually experience all the stuff, or just kind of hang out with family? Well, my wife wanted to hang out with her cousin. And they don't really do much. They're business owners, but they're not in constant move. And so it went from, all right, yeah, we're going to stay directly with her cousin. We knew about this for the last week, 2 weeks and a half. And then when we get there, well, we have an air mattress downstairs for you in the kids' room. I'm like, what do you mean? We stayed in the, like, not even a month ago in the spare bedroom you had. That's where we expected we were going to stay. Mm-hmm. Well, no, we have somebody else that moved in like a month ago. We didn't tell you? What the fuck? I was shocked. Like, I appreciate the generosity, and they were great hosts. But it was one of those, like, skipped your mind moments where you're just like, I traveled 25 hours, 26 hours out here. It turned out to be 32 hours. Just to sleep on an air mattress after 36 hours was the most uncomfortable, gut-wrenching thing
If
ever.
you knew you were getting into it, it would have been fine. But
Well, yeah, it's just an inconvenience. It's not like a vast thing. So nobody take it like, fuck those people. They're great people. It's just one of those things that skipped your mind. It was such a big thing to skip your mind. I'm just kind of like, what the heck? So it was not the best way to start the trip, I will say. It was really funny, though, because, of course, that thing deflated the first night like 4 times. Built-in pump didn't really work after like 4 a.m. And then my son got out of bed and got into our bed. Little things. And my daughter, there's things I can't share on the podcast that happen, but we'll just say that not everything went to plan. Not everything. Mm-hmm. But sure as hell, it was an eye-opening experience that Oklahoma, even being a very racist, bigoted state in their policies, we've had a conversation about that, is still better than California, in my opinion.
I mean, on pricing alone.
Just on
so much cheaper.
I had a conversation with Zeke earlier, and I was like, guess how much gas outside of California is? He's like, what, $19, $20 an hour? Legitimately thought gas was $20 because there's places that it's $9 in California. It's $2.75 in certain places. $2.75.
And that's because it's up from $1.40.
Yeah, but then there's in Oklahoma where it's $3.79, $4, and they're really bitching about it. Like, everyone's, oh, this is ridiculous. You see the gas today? It's like they wake up and they're ready.
See my gas 20 hours ago?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, what? Yeah, that's California, where some places are $8.75 at the time. They're what? They're who? How? And it was mind-boggling. The milk. So we needed milk for my son. Please, someone in the world, tell me how in the fucking hell, and I'm going to use this very openly, you can milk a cow in one state and charge the cow in another the milk goes to. It's $7 here for a gallon of milk. $7. $6.49, taxes, whatever. Tell me why it's $1.49 in certain states. That is ridiculous.
Every state got their own creameries and stuff, I feel
I
like
understand,
it all be local and cheap.
But why so California is like a tourist state. Did you see Gavin Newsom's posting? Mm-mm. You want to see something really messed up?
The latest posting I've seen is actually something you might find super funny with Final Fantasy. Have you heard about
From Gavin Newsom?
Not from Gavin Newsom, but like...
Hold on, let me show you this.
We'll stick to this.
Yeah. Where is it? Gavin Newsom, Instagram. You're going to love this. I promise you'll love this. He made a post on... Yep, right here. Look at what it says right here. What does this say?
Are you living in Florida to join?
It's Independence Day. Let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors. I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California, where we still believe in freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, and the freedom to love. Don't let them take your freedom.
Paid for by Newsom for California Governor 2022.
It's independent.
Why does he look like a evil villain from some like a B-roll sci-fi movie?
It's so bad because all the blush is really showing through. My other problem is this is not a place where they believe in your freedoms.
The whole
I
country
marched
doesn't believe in your
2007. I marched. 2004. I marched with my friends. There's been battles for freedoms. Battles. Not everyone has them. I get it. But still, right now, most of that is still up in the air. It's been 18 years since my first, hanging out, go up, Prop 8, whatever. Still not secure. It's not federal law. It didn't really do much. Mm-hmm. Tell me how you're protecting freedoms. If anything, you're charging a premium to people who want the comfort of knowing that there's some margin of equality in California. That's what you want. You want to charge a premium. This is like the Ferraris of states.
The Ferraris of states.
Yeah, it's like the Ferraris of states. We have leather seating. We have gay rights.
We have full air conditioning.
We have full air conditioning. We have an abortion protection. Like it's a minority of people that need certain things, but the majority of people are paying the price. And to be this state that does all these things, we're now paying $9 gas. Tell me how that's right. He's trying to appeal to Floridians, Florida people, DeSantis' people.
Florida people are crazy.
They're fucking nuts.
There's no this.
It's monkeypox.
They've had COVID for the last 8 years.
They don't give a shit because they got a thumb and a butt and a Corona in the one hand. You know what I mean? This is Florida.
The thumbs up their butt and the Corona's in the same hand.
Exactly. That's their motto. Florida doesn't care about disease or trials. They're like, hey, you want to be gay? Let's go down to the bar.
They've been living with it all. It's whatever.
Nobody gives a shit. There's bigoted people everywhere. There's a lot in California, and especially in Sacramento. There's a lot of racist people. Do not talk about Rio Linda. I'm telling you right now. There's a lot of racist people, like old loofah type people. Crazy people make loofahs out there. But I saw this and I was disgusted. I'm not even like an avid Newsom hater, but when I saw this, I was like, this man needs to fucking lose, because you're not going to try and leverage what people have here and pay a premium for against another state who's thriving.
Who's also about as far away from this state as you can be.
And they still have the majority of those freedoms. What he's talking about is like removing critical race theory from certain textbooks. I am all for the Don't Say Gay bill. Unfortunately, that's my personal preference. I think we've had this conversation that you should, at a certain age, protect your kids from any and all confusing methods, actions. Try and shield the innocence of a child for as long as possible. Say 7, up to 7. Don't let them talk about sex in the classroom, genders, anything. All of it. If it's not
non-sexual gender discussion is very important.
But for a family to have with their child,
but a family wouldn't even understand anything.
I understand.
There's so many gay terminologies and things I've learned in the last year that I never even knew have been a thing for the last 40, 50, 60, 100 years.
Everyone's learning, though. But you learn that as an adult or as a person who's experienced in the world. A 6 or 7-year-old doesn't need to know these things. How would they benefit?
They just need to know it's not weird.
It's not weird. But that's where it's on the family.
They don't get to know about it.
This gets to the brass tacks. It's on the family that needs to be educated, right? Mm-hmm. They need not to be bigoted to the issue. Would that be correct?
But we've talked about this before too, where straight teachers can say, I went to the lake house with my husband.
There's always going to be a negative side.
A gay teacher can't say, I went to the lake house with my husband, because that's gay and you can't discuss gay.
See, like I said, I support a piece of it. Well, I'll say, no, I definitely, I would say.
I agree.
I agree.
The innocence of children, maintain it.
That's my whole thing.
Sexuality, but you can't tell people not to share.
The problem is details. You can't try and share or save one thing, because there's such a fluidity of how things are talked. They have to blanket certain items. And so it becomes unfair to
it's too broad of a blanket.
The problem is they don't got enough time, and these people don't give two shits. They want the headline that they've done something for the state or for the people so that they can get some traction, some clicks, some tweets, whatever. They don't care to dive into this for 6 months and get every clarity crystal moment so that everyone feels comfortable. It's not about everyone's feelings. That's the problem in politics. They don't take into account everyone's feelings. It's what they want, what they need. So when he's trying to target, Florida may not be the best place. They're doing fine on their own, but you're trying to take Floridians to a place where we have our own problems here in California. A majority of problems come from Newsom, unfortunately, and his administration. That's my opinion. It's how I feel about it. But I think this is one of the dumbest things he's done. Now, the last thing I'll say about Florida, like I said, it's not the best place in the world, but it's also not the most expensive. California is like
number one, if not top 5,
Yeah, most expensive states.
It's what's the economy is more powerful than most countries. You're going to have such a huge increase in the cost of living there too.
I was disappointed. I was like, for all the places he could call out, he could have called out.
He could have casted it to the entire United
Ohio.
States.
Yeah. Why is he calling out? Is it just because of the DeSantis Don't Say Gay bill? Which is, God, I forget the name of it too, because it's been so long to bring this up.
Parental preference.
Yeah, Parental Protections Act or whatever. And it's so dumb because it's so... the majority of people, I think, are starting to live with it and understand it. And I've talked to people who were totally against it beforehand that are leaning more to it to, again, protect that innocent kid. I've talked to people who are for it that are against it now because it's affecting certain families. I think everything I'm starting, the older I get, to think that everything needs to be a level of common sense. You know what I mean? That everyone should be on the same page of common sense.
Parental rights and education.
Yeah. If you took away Roe v. Wade, if you took away Brown versus,
Board of Education,
you took away all these really important moments in history and just said, hey, don't be stupid. Okay? Treat everyone equal as you want to be treated. And don't encroach on other people's things or families or their way of life. Bubble, that's it. Don't encroach on somebody else's bubble, whether that's family, person, whatever. I think if you went with those like normal 2 things,
without the protections, we all just turn on each other for differences. COVID and all the
but
attacks on Asian
hypothetically,
Americans.
if they
terrible.
didn't, if people just went by common sense,
perfect, but
exactly.
they don't.
That's the problem.
Everybody's here to push everyone down and keep themselves up.
Then we need to shoot everybody.
That's a form of fascism.
Genocide.
We can't have that either.
I know, but you can call any solution is going to be sought from one side of the spectrum to another because everyone is so different and it kills me. But I think just common sense should be like, stay out of other people's shit, live your life, enjoy your happiness, your sadness, whatever. You need help, raise a hand. Somebody else notice somebody needs help, lift a hand.
We've got too few rich people turning all the poor people against each other.
Right, well, there's, what was it? Elon Musk is getting a lot of hate. He's not the best guy. Yet again, another disclaimer, not a fanboy. But still, I think he offered, what was it, billions of dollars to feed global world hunger.
For a report, they gave him the report, and then he said, not close enough.
But he still donated the money.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he donate the money?
Yeah. Last
I heard, he told everyone to take a hike and get out.
Well, because they refused the report because they gave him like a numbers on an Excel. What Robert did to us, like it was a very vague. Here's what it is, and he's like, no, give me your plan, not like how you're going to donate the money. See, so Elon Musk gave 5.7 billion donation weeks after he declared to the UN to show him its plan for solving world hunger. Never miss a story. Where we'll be donating 5.74 billion. Musk sold 5 million shares of Tesla, worth the amount of money he gave in November 19th and 29th, according to SEC filing. The recipient is anonymous. So yeah, he.
So then, who did he give this money to? It doesn't count if we don't know this.
Well, I think the idea
He
was...
could have just given it to any organization that he owned on the side.
Well,
or
no,
had
it's
handed.
declared a donation by the SEC. So it is a donation.
So where'd it go?
Well, they can declare it as anonymous. They don't want to go after the companies that got it. What if it's 50 companies that his team has said, hey, these are the companies.
Mm-hmm.
But he still gave that. You went this entire time thinking he did not do that, right? Because you didn't know.
If there's no where did it go, then how do we even know?
Well,
And we're getting into
here's my point,
government
though.
general fund conspiracy here.
Because it is an SEC filing, say he did donate the money. Donate, not move 5.6 billion.
Mm-hmm.
He donated the money to nonprofits. Someone is benefiting from, can we agree, $5.6 billion.
If world hunger isn't getting solved, then where did it go?
But they didn't come up with a plan for it. That was the problem. It was a very
They had
vague
a plan
No,
for
it
where
was.
money to go.
Did you read it?
Did you read it?
Yes. Basically, how they're going to allocate the top 10 recipient countries
Mm-hmm.
cash vouchers, 3,000 meals of food, etc. Phase 4, Phase 2, Sudan, South Sudan. They're basically just going to buy food at wholesale cost instead of, like, teach a man to fish, give a man a fish.
Mm-hmm.
They could teach men to fish with $6 billion. And Musk said it could have been done better. So what if that 5.6 billion is going to companies that are going to build wells, build fishing sites, build companies that are doing solar, electricity, stuff to help these third world countries.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know because, yes, it's anonymous. But the hypothetical, that 1% chance here, for some reason in my brain is saying he didn't give two shits about the public, like, oh, okay, I'm going to give it straight to the UN. I don't trust the UN anyway with all the back and forth and the shit from COVID anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But from what they put out, it definitely looks like they were just buying fucking food vouchers and doing nothing with it. So they're just going to send people out there, pay them an hourly wage that's greater than what any food is out there to hand them out. So they're going to make money off of it.
I mean, capitalism.
I
You know
understand.
what's going to happen.
It's really shitty. I'm surprised you didn't see all this because I stayed up
These
with...
are just numbers. This isn't even a plan. To
And
have a
that's
plan,
my
I feel
point.
like...
They just gave him numbers.
Where's the report?
That's the point. It wasn't even a report. He refused to give him a detailed report of what he was going to do. He was like, well, here's the countries we'd give money and food vouchers to. Oh, okay, break it down. How many personnel are you going to send? How are they going to do this? What are they going to set up? That's what I thought the first
the
time.
UN has a fat list of companies that are all bidding to do these things to get the money from
That's
the grants
it.
for the whatever.
They're just trying to steal money. In my opinion, I don't trust the UN. Not with an ounce, an iota of the sweat off my nuts. Not at all. Don't even carry that. Let it fucking evaporate. I don't like them. It's the way they do things. Too much wishy-washy stuff. But there was something very noble about him still donating the fucking money to companies that could do better. Even if an infinitesimal, tiny amount better. Let's see. What if in 10 years he solves the fucking world health crisis?
Beautiful. He goes
And
down
he's
to
like,
history
"Oh,
as the man who solved world
He's
hunger.
going to be like, we did it. We're on Mars, but we did it. Yeah. It's kind of cool. A little weed.
Mars weed is so much better. It turns out
It's my alien friend.
The solar radiation is what makes it good. It's his alien wife.
His name is Alan. Don't assume his gender. But yes, we're having a baby / alien on Mars. Yeah, that's my Elon impression. Sorry. I've been working on that wide-eyed, when he talks at
These
his...
rich people got the weirdest eyes,
Dude, his Tesla, what is it? His Tesla, when he's sitting there talking, he's like, yeah, hit it with a hammer. Oh, he broke it. Going to Mars. Stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
I found it funny, but something that right there, it led to something else I saw in 4th of July, that this man met the supreme of all holy beings on earth, the Pontifex, the POTUS of his holy church, the Pope, him and his 4 children, 4 out of 9. Not even 24 hours after that, guess what was released? he had a love child, twins, with some secretary that was at Tesla. What was that?
Tesla love child.
Love life, children. Fathered twins with the top Tesla executive. Take a look at this. Ooh, that's going to make a weird baby. Especially this guy right here. I'm just saying. So, surrogacy in December. Is there music on?
My phone had audio from something. What the heck?
So, weeks before Musk and Grimes welcomed their baby through surrogacy, in December 2021, Tesla boss fathered twins with one of the top execs, Siobhan Zillis. 36-year-old Zillis is a project director at Neuralink, according to Business Insider. Paywalled via Yahoo News, court documents revealed Musk and Zillis applied for the twins that would bear their biological father's surname and last name as biological mother's surname as their middle name. The court approved their request in May of 2022. He quietly had fucking twins with somebody. So is he that powerful that he's like, okay, you're taken care of for the rest of your life. Don't have to work.
He's got the money for that.
Is he so biologically engineered that he's a one-hitter quitter? Like, done, twins, they're having my babies.
He's an efficient man.
Oh, he's a 5-minute man. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember reading that last year. I thought it was crazy because I couldn't believe he met the Pope and he was blessed by the Pope. Him and his 4 children, 4 different people. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen. Mm. There's I'm not a Christian. I was when I was younger. Catholicism, whatever. There is something there to be said that he has to be benefiting the church. And now it's getting more into Illuminati shit. Because when you go from that, all of a sudden, 24 hours later, this comes out.
Too late. I'm blessed.
Yeah,
No takes
blessed.
backsies.
Exactly. Peace. That's my kids.
Did he do his confessional and now he's free and clear? Because Catholicism, isn't the Catholic the confessional stuff?
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Sorry. You know me.
Can you imagine if you met the Pope and he says exactly that and you're like, what?
Oh my God. God, what was the thing you were saying was going to be so funny today?
I was asking, did you hear anything about the Final Fantasy billboard? Look at Final Fantasy billboard bands. Just Final Fantasy 14 billboard. It'll pop up. This the guilds from WoW are called free companies in Final Fantasy.
Why this matters.
And
Asmongold reacts.
One of the free companies bought 5 billboards in the United States, 3 in Texas, 2 in California.
Taken down following community backlash.
In their billboard, which you keep scrolling, they better have an image of because this shit was popular. So there's the billboard. There's a picture of 2 of them. They haven't found all of them physically, but it's all registered, advertisement stuff. In this picture, for those who probably won't get it at all, contains data mined outfits on the left, and the person on the right is a modded model. This is all official in-game artwork, character models, logos, Square Enix, Final Fantasy information that they've all pulled and posted on here. Official Twitch icons, DJ icons. This violates every law you can for IP infringement and stuff, just about. What? And it breaks the TOS for Final Fantasy for data mining and releasing stuff to the public. And then mods are illegal. They're against the rules. So this company,
what?
This company,
all this IP has been posted.
This guild had
so a guild did this.
A guild did this. This
with
is
crypto money, I'm assuming, because
probably
14 of them.
These billboards are like $14,000 each, wherever the fuck they're looking.
Well,
at.
if they're high income, we have like $1,500 ones that are a week.
The middle of Texas, the middle of California, fucking.
It's got to be high traffic areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
The entire guild every single member, regardless of affiliation, associates, members, officers, leaders, admins, banned.
No
all of them banned. 100% of the group banned,
Hammer.
disbanded. They had a house, in game where the parties are being hosted. It is a empty shell with the doors locked. They've basically boarded it up.
No way.
Yeah.
Did they know this would happen?
You have to know
There's
this is
another
going to
one.
happen.
Oh my god.
People are making memes on them now as well. There's a lot of memes on this. But this entire company is banned. Those 3 DJs are banned. Everyone affiliated in their like allied guilds area is under investigation.
$12,000.
Yes. Like per billboard. This was not cheap. They bought a digital billboard, which apparently carries double the fines if you for this kind of stuff. They're holding protests in game in favor of and against outside these people's property. Like this also happened right after they released data center transfers. Usually, if you're on a server group, you can only hang out with people from that server group. They opened it up, so this group announced their event that they're having to get people onto their server, and it's been basically almost like a DDoS.
So
attack
they did this to promote
their free company. Come
They're
join our
not
company.
safe for work. Final Fantasy nightclub.
And that's the best part. It's an ERP club. It is an erotic role playing group. You are here to bone down digitally with all consenting adults, everyone 18 and plus, 21 and older, required for the Discord and stuff. But
Have you met anybody?
from this group, no.
No, in Final Fantasy. You
Final
played a lot.
Fantasy. I talked to a lot of people from there. Yeah. I have people in Sacramento. I've met people out east who want to hang out.
Is that where you met person we were talking about today?
My partners are from Final Fantasy. Yeah.
Okay. That's
I've
where
known
you
them
met
for
them,
a
or is that they play with you?
But they play with me there. Yeah.
Okay. Like, I met my now wife in person, but my ex-girlfriend I met on Tinder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, it's but it's they broke almost every rule in Final Fantasy, not even counting
on the
IP
5th of
infringement.
June or July.
Yes, 4th or 5th is when it went live, and then it started
That's
memeing.
crazy.
Yeah, they're all banned, all fired. The Discord is being quarantined by Discord. They're also going to nuke that pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. Because now Discord's got to police that, or it's going to come back to them at some level, for allowing this crazy shit to happen. I don't know.
Oh, wow. I was just through Arizona. These cocksuckers limited filming police. So the Arizona governors signed a law that restricts how the public can police, or the public can video police at a time where there's growing pressure across the U.S. for greater law enforcement transparency. Civil rights and media groups oppose the measure that Republican governor has signed into law. What the fuck? Civil rights media groups. Doug Ducey signed Thursday that it makes it illegal in Arizona knowingly video police officers 8 feet or closer without an officer's permission. So now there's a 8-foot fucking law? Why is that? Someone on private property without the owner's consent can also be ordered to stop recording if a police officer finds that they are interfering or in the area that's not safe. The penalty is a misdemeanor and would likely incur a fine without jail time. There needs to be a law to protect officers from people who either have poor judgment or sinister motive, said Republican John Kavanaugh. Yeah, fuck you. No, they should. The whole point was to govern and police them by civilians. Mm-hmm. Keep them in check. Same thing with military, unless
with
we're
the lack of transparency. They're basically the police are policed by civilians.
Arizona. I'm never going through again. Fuck that. That's crazy. Because, well, I haven't talked to you about my tickets yet. Mm-mm. No. So on the last 2 hours of the stretch, going through Texas, everything's great. We saw everything. Everything. It was beautiful.
You told me the second you were about to cross the border, something happened, but you didn't get into it anymore.
The moment we're like, okay, here we go. Oklahoma's coming. We're almost there, baby. Daughter's starting to fuss. She's like, go fast, Dad, go fast. Like, no, it's 45. We're transitioning 45, 55, 65. Here's the thing, you fucking Texan bastards. I'm going to tell you right now, go fuck yourself with your speed traps, fuck yourself with your fines, and fuck your bigger in Texas bullshit attitude, because I tried to talk to the officer. This one's crazy. And now, here's the thing about speed traps. Most of them are really independently fuckeried. And I'm going to keep cursing because I'm really upset about this $200. So I'm going on a 70 highway. It's 70. My car has self-driving. Mind you, I've touched the wheel 5 times in Texas. Talking to my daughter, I'm coloring with my son. I'm having a fucking time in the driver's seat. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Daughter starts to get antsy. Great, okay. I look back, talk to my daughter. Apparently, it switched from a 70 to a 55 immediately. What does a car do that self-drives, you ask? What do you think a car does that self-drives?
I mean, it slows down if it's programmed.
Slows down. It does not immediately stop and readjust itself. So it transitions. Okay, we're at a 70. I know.
It's going to cap to 50. It's not going to hit the brakes super hard or anything.
I saw a 70 sign. I look back for a second. It's not even a long second. Oh, are you okay? Look forward. Okay, we're in a 55. All right, great. It's starting to slow down. It slows down within 3 to 5 seconds. It drops 5, drops 5, drops 5, like kind of like it pumps the brakes.
Yeah.
It does that a lot. I could have hit the brakes and slowed down a whole lot faster in a shittier way. Everyone discomforts. No cars around us. None. Tell me why the shitty officer in Miami, Texas, and I hope...
Miami, Texas?
Miami, Texas.
Is it Miami in Texas?
There's one officer. It's a population of 2. Him and his cousin. He fucks. Absolutely. Because this really... I'm telling you, this backward... It's the smallest town ever. And this guy was an absolute dick. Out of nowhere. Get out of the car. Okay. Excuse me? Get out of the car. Why? You were speeding in a 55 and you were going 62. I'm like, okay, sorry. I pulled over right when I saw him, because as soon as I saw the 55 and it was going down, I looked to my left, there's the cop, lights. The moment the sign comes on, I'm like, the car can't even I couldn't slow down that fast from when I saw it. I crossed the sign. The moment I crossed the sign. Sure, I may have had 20 feet to notice that sign, 30 feet of time. Mm-hmm. But they placed it so close. So I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't see the sign until I was right on it. And the car slows itself down. That's mighty fine. Get out of the car. No license, no registration, not why I'm pulling you over. I know why I'm being pulled over. Like, can I grab my ID for you? You grab it, get out of the car. Okay, grab the license. Oh, shit, license isn't in there. We've been driving 27, 28 hours at this point. So we get out there, I give him my ID number. He looks me up. Like, what's the problem? Long day. Like, okay, like that's all you want to say to me? Long day. Then it turns into, let me search through all my shit for my ID. We had it at the hotel the night before because we stayed at a hotel. Mm-hmm. Kids were real tired. Now that my daughter's in a booster seat, certain states require boosters, certain states, but she was more comfortable in this trip for a booster so she could lay sideways, do her stuff if she wanted to sleep. Not the safest, I know. But this guy was the biggest walking redneck dick I had ever seen in my life. Like, imagine a big redneck, can of Copenhagen in his lip, that just dreams of his cousin with a badge on his chest, driving a big-ass F-Ford 250 that's sheriffed all over it. That's who pulled me over. And he wasn't nice about it. So, at this point, I did not know that I had an issue with my license, which is another thing we'll get into. Funny enough, I finally get my license, got my insurance, all that stuff. Hey, I never get pulled over. Sorry, man. The car drives itself. It does its own thing, and it's always on point. I'll take the ticket on this one. I got 2 hours to be somewhere, and I'll take it slow. Took it slow. Mm-hmm. After 20 minutes of just one-worded answers, real fucking dickish. Like, hey, can I get back in the car? No, you stay right there. Nope. Stay. Don't move. Like, real short. Sorry, bud. I haven't been pulled over in years. Finally, have a good day. Pay online. I was like, what? What's the fine? It's like $200. You want to pay right now? No. Why? Is it going to go away? Is giving you $200 going to do it? Like, he insinuated that there was a different way to pay and made me feel fucking uncomfortable. So, okay, get in the car, Daughter's freaking out. My son's screaming because I just got pulled out by police. Like, in a very weird tone.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck Miami. Let's drive at the speed limit. I'll put it 10 under. I'll put it in the slow lane. We'll just
Coast on out of here.
Literally hand back like this, talking to my wife on the right. You know, car's driving itself out of Miami just into Oklahoma. In Oklahoma like that. It's been 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. I don't know. Fucking lights. We got pulled over again. We got pulled over within 20 minutes again. For what you say this time? Guess what we got pulled over for?
Is it driving too slow?
Driving under the speed limit in Oklahoma.
And you cross state lines. This is all brand new. No double jeopardy.
Are
nothing.
you fucking kidding me that because I just got pulled over, I want to be safe. Now I'm getting pulled over again for being safe.
It's too safe.
It wasn't. No. And here's the fun part. He didn't even get the mileage right because I had autopilot set to 65 and a 70, and he said I was going 82 and a 70. Oh no, yeah, it was 72 and a 65. So it was 60. I was 60. I was 5 miles under. It was set to 60, going at 60. He said I was going 72 and a 65. He apparently came across from us, flipped his lights on when I checked the security footage, flipped his lights on, and then pulled around. So in motion, he tagged our speed at 72 and a 65. I had just been pulled over. I was very diligent at turning the fucking autopilot cruise control down.
Don't you have to speed measure at a stationary spot because of some Doppler effect shit?
Yes! And I tried to tell him that. And he's like, you want to question me or you want to go to jail? Because I see here that your license has been suspended. What the fuck, Oklahoma? So I'm just in Texas, right? Dealing with my redneck friend. You know, on the whole night. And this is my second day of driving. I'm in shorts and flip-flops. And I'm just not comfortable. And I'm like, hey man, here's where it starts with Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't give you a ticket while you're in your car. They have you come back to the passenger seat of the police car. Hey, step out of the vehicle. Just come have a chat with me. I thought they called from Texas and were like, get this fucker.
Get him.
Well, then he says speeding. I really think it was, hey, nice new white Tesla. Just cleaned. Very pretty. Coming down a freeway in Oklahoma. We don't see that much. Let me get this guy over here. 7 miles out the side of the speed limit. I'm going to tell him. Probably. Needs that ticket. And then he tells me my license is suspended. And I'm like, was that for the ticket in fucking Texas? What? I don't know what the issue is. But it should not be suspended. And I'll get to why it was suspended because I found out. But I've been driving 27 hours at this point, 26. And the cop tells me he's going to take me to jail for the weekend and I'll get bailed out or released on Tuesday when they see a judge. It's Friday. So I'll be in jail for 4 days. 4th of July weekend. I was like, you can't, there's no way you're going to take me to jail after 26 hours of driving from California to here. I wouldn't have made the trip. I would have just flown. We're just going to save some money, have a nice family road trip, which we have until the last 20 minutes. And when I told him Miami ran my name, ran my card, I'm like, there has to be an issue here in your DPS, as he called it. He's like, oh, it's very possible. I don't think they've been updated in a decade. What? That's a comment to make. He was nice about it when we got back to the car, but I was under the assumption I'm already arrested. I'm in the passenger seat of a cop car. No handcuffs on. He's like, I'm gonna let you go right now. Give you a speeding ticket. But this is going to be a misdemeanor on your record for driving without a license, unless you can clear it up. How do I clear that up on 4th of July weekend? And how do I verify it? So I'm like, can I call Tuesday, Wednesday? I'll be here till Thursday, and then we're driving home, and I got to drive. So I wouldn't recommend it. But you can get a printout of your driver's license report from California. So I did that. After this, he was super nice to my wife and made sure that I wasn't coercing her when I walked up to the passenger seat. Apparently got her in the car and was like, man, we just need to ask him some questions because it looks like you were trying to hand him something while he was out there. Gave her a bunch of shit. I'll have her explain at a future date. She basically released the vehicle to her. And I was, as he said, this close to going to jail because California suspended my driver's license. The same day they sent me my new plates. I don't know why. But it's also the same day that my insurance renewed. So
you had a 1 hour lapse of insurance coverage and they suspended your license or some bullshit?
That's the only thing that makes sense. I called USAA, and here's the kicker. USAA says, well, your SR22 had a DUI years ago, passenger. That's a requirement for so many years. You have to have an SR22. It's a direct link from DMV to insurance to make sure that I have coverage. In case I kill one of you, I'm covered. Vice versa. Okay. Basically, they say, oh, well, your SR22 has lapsed, but it's current now, which is weird, so it shouldn't have revoked your license or suspended your license. I'm like, yeah, that is weird because I have no lapse in payments. I have no lapse in contact. I've been really nice to you. I expected in return because I've paid, I haven't argued, I haven't asked for a discount. I'm just blessed to be on the road now. As you know my history, I don't fuck around with this. I am diligent now. I am a legal beagle. So tell me, since before my court case last year, apparently it's been suspended since September. I went to court in January and fixed all this. Remember the ticket?
Yeah.
I beat that ticket from 8 years ago. And the DA, the District Attorney of California, checked my license on January 11th. January 11th, why was my license not valid then? It was suspended since September, so I had that checked. I also have a printout from February 16th, that shows my license is valid. So tell me why the DMV now says, well, September last year it was suspended. How is that possible?
The timeline's not adding up.
It doesn't add up at all. So they told me, oh, well, it looks like we have a copy of the SR22 here from the DMV. And then USAA said, no, we never sent one. No, we never sent a second updated copy. So I'm like, well, if it's been suspended since September when we renewed this, then you should be liable for a ticket and all the insurance I've paid since. I think that's fair, especially with the headache that we had to go through to try and get everything solved and not driving for a few days and then the trip back. I will say I illegally drove from Oklahoma all the way back to California. Got the fuck out of that state. I love it. I'll come back, but by air, I'm not driving back in unless it's with a U-Haul behind me saying, peace, California, because that's coming soon. But the stress on my ulcer, thinking I genuinely, Eric, I promise you, I thought I was going to fucking jail. I've never felt like I always think I can get out of things. Mm. I am a weasel. Absolutely. Silver-tongued devil.
But if you're caught go straight to jail.
Nothing I could do. It was like constipation overload. Help. Like, that's what it was. I was sitting there like, you telling me, I thought I was going for a ticket. Maybe I'm getting in trouble. Something else, maybe I missed something in Miami, Texas. I'm sitting there.
Or you had a taillight out or something.
Something, like maybe that guy spit on it and, acid from inbreeding. I don't know.
Acid from his alien lizard saliva.
The inbreeding, saliva, acid, the Trump support. I don't know. Just short circuit.
The Jurassic Park.
I thought they were communicating like sonar, like
I've mind.
Money, You got that reference, right? Okay. And for some reason, I was just getting fucked with. But I genuinely, when he's like, no, I got to take you to jail. And he reaches for his fucking cuffs. I'm like, this is fucked. I'm like, don't do this. And then I explained we're on a trip. Then he turned into an all right guy. Very weird, but all right. Gave me the info I needed. I get it all settled. And then California says 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm like, so I'm stuck in Oklahoma for 6 to 8 weeks? The boys got it covered. I'll be here. I'll have my all-you-can-eat salad and steak buffet. It'll be good. It'll be fine. perfectly okay.
Shaking like a whippet dog, like the.
No, I like the place. Trust me. But there's little things that got to me while I was there. I think I mentioned to you we had a very racist man in a Ram 2500.
The Tesla taunter.
Yes, I had a couple people while I was charging come up and they're like, very nice. Hey, what are you doing? What's that doing here? How can we help? You got some issue? Didn't know what a charger was at one point. Some guy was like, y'all broken down out here? I'm like, no. I'm fine.
This is how these cars work?
This is how my car works. He's like, oh, that's electric. Oh, damn, tell me about it. Absolutely. Nice guy. He's like 70. Then you have one really fucked up 80-year-old man in a Ram, which was really funny. Something in me was like to challenge everything he thought after the comment. I think I forgot to tell you this. So after he made this comment, I was with another Tesla owner. Only other one I saw, he was asking me which chargers were working because it's a very weird system in Oklahoma, not very good grounding, and the car determines that and says, hey, inefficient charging capable, try another socket.
Put the full length of ground in or whatever.
Yeah. My grandfather was this racist, and he was stupid about things. Yeah. So I met this Tesla charger guy who drove from Washington to Oklahoma. We drove from California to Oklahoma. Everyone's moving to Oklahoma now because Texas is overpriced and their politics are starting to change, which is, got to vote for the times, like Joe Rogan and a bunch of people say. Vote for the comfort you're there for, not for the discomfort you want to bring. Like there's a reason you move there. Make sure it stays there.
Maintain that versus bringing bullshit with you.
For me, California is just, there's too many problems and too many allowances. They're trying to make everybody happy, and it's always a shitty method, in my opinion. No matter what they do, not everyone can be happy. Great. Oklahoma, this guy comes, he's like, hey, get him charging, everything's fine. He's got a family of 3 as well. We're sitting there chatting it up for 20 minutes. Give him the card. He'll probably see this. Is it now a subscriber?
Hi, friend.
Hey, bud. He grew up there. I didn't. I understand I've got a racist background, family, things, whatever. I don't tend to fight back when people are underhandedly racist. I'm like, okay, it's kind of going to be their shittiness, whatever.
A
dick, right? All right, don't deal with that. Don't bring this up. We deal with a lot of shitty customers too that we kind of like, okay, and then look the other cheek. Especially with some 90-year-old guy comes in here coughing up a lung, he's dying anyway. You're not going to help the situation or move for social justice by telling him to fuck off.
He's about to take care of it on his own.
That's why you're on oxygen, bud. There's karma. I understand. But this fucking Ram guy got to me. Never have I seen somebody on a pedestal of his giant truck pull up, rev his engine. Hey, what did he ask? He was like, how long does it take to cool these down on a hot summer day on your electric engine versus my gas over here? I was like,
he was trying to have an air conditioner battle.
Yeah, like how long does it take to cool it down? I have a button that says controlled climate. If it reaches a degree, it kicks in, cools it down.
Your turbo button. Did it exceed this temperature?
I can do all kinds of fun shit with the AC. Now, I was going to answer, but he answered. He was like, oh, yeah, we've got... And then he turns to him, I'm not talking to you, boy.
If you didn't mention already, the gentleman you're talking to is Latin of some sort.
I think it's Latin American, Spanish. Nice guy. But I'm not talking to you, boy, like in real fucking redneck terms, to me was immediately like, oh, no, absolutely. Your Ram 2500 couldn't mash up to our cars. Unfortunately, this is about cash for comfort. And that's small dick syndrome. Like, that's just not going to compare. Yeah. And he was so pissed off by the way I was like, well, yours can't compete with ours. It's unfortunately, you've got way too much gas. It's all about the engine power for yours. It's not about the creature comforts or anything. And you really wouldn't know what to do when we gave you one of these cars. You'd be sitting there just hitting the buttons for the toys like kids. That I said to him. And he was pissed off, quite pissed off. Oh, well, good to know. I think it just kind of spun, around on him. And then when I asked him, I was like, why didn't you say anything? And he's like, oh, no, I'm used to it here. That's just the way people are. I'm like, damn, I've never felt like the social justice warrior until then. And I was like, that was one of those ones where it's not really a big deal, but I was kind of offended for him. I don't know, maybe we can bring some light into that town. Not going to change things up and have, flags going from red, white, and blue to spectrums or anything, but at least help it out. There's a lot of like older assholes out there. Everyone else is like progressive and new. I think it's just the ones who make the policies. They're older. How old is the governor of Oklahoma? Kevin Stitt, 1972, age 49. So he's young.
He's not that old.
He's just definitely on the red side of things. He just started his term. Was it 2019, January? First tribally enrolled and Native American to serve as governor in the U.S. state as Oklahoma's second governor of Native descent after Johnston Murray. Grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State University degree in accounting. He's the founder and former chairman, CEO of Gateway Mortgage Group. Anything Gateway just moves at me. So, yeah. And the one thing I like is just everything is cheap. It's unfortunate, but the last thing I'll bring up before we close out this podcast, we got an offer to buy a house cash for $65,000 from a couple. I was at Hirsch's, the storefront, and I'll get into more detail on my own with the podcast coming after this one in a couple of days, so make sure you're subscribed for that. An in-depth breakdown of everything I went through. Mm-hmm. There's trials, there's tribulations, there's fatherhood moments.
You'll laugh, you'll cry.
There's one moment you will cry. Absolutely. I shed a tear. I'm going to save that for my own one-on-one. But there was definitely a lot more. I can do more here than I could in California. And I found that out when I was there, I'd say day 2. The day my daughter got her sunburn. But we'll talk about that later. The point, offer to buy a house. You go into a liquor store. Go in there to get, they had no like wild vapes or anything. There was a smoke shop down the street to get vapes like I did last time when I was there. But I was right there looking at the commercial properties. Went into Hirsch's, got, you know how much my Juul pods are here in California before they got banned last week?
How much?
A pack of 4 of these were $30. So that's $7.50 each, right? Mm-hmm. And now in Oklahoma, this is $10 for 4 of them.
I was going to guess $12.
No. And then the battery pack is $9.99 like it is everywhere. But what was killer to me is as I'm checking out, and she's like, you from California? Lady comes in, saw my license plate, and it's like, oh, me too. I'm from Modesto. I'm moving to Kentucky. I bought a house here 5 years ago. Good to meet you. Well, she tells me her name, her story. And I said, hey, we're looking to move here. And she's like, well, I got a house I'm about to list next week. It's $65,000, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, got a basement, and a brand new 2-car garage that was built 6 months ago. All right, yeah, let's come see it. Well, you can drive by. We'll be there later tonight. I'll give you the address. We do. We go by. It looks nice from the outside. I'll put up a couple of pictures here.
Yeah, nice little place.
Yeah, so basically, we go in there and we say, okay, we're going to wait till 9, they said. But we couldn't wait. We kept driving by to show the in-laws. We're like, oh, we have an opportunity to buy this house cash. It's super cheap. $65,000, not a big amount. I got cash that's liquid right now that'll cover a big chunk of this, and I can get the rest of the money in a week.
Yeah.
Or I could just take out one of those payday.
Get a loan under advance
I could square loan it, POS loan it, whatever. Anything to get an extra $15,000. Mm-hmm. Buy it cash, get the deed done. And we go by there twice more, and we find out they're staging the place. One looked like they were taking out a bunch of garbage cans and trash bags. And then there was 2 giant dogs like pit bulls going back and forth.
Guard dogs.
And then we went again, and it looked like they were taking in furniture. And I was like, either this place was abandoned or it was a wreck. And they're cleaning it up. So when we go at 9, we walk in, it smells like mold and incense. So CJ's with us, Khaleesi's with Alice and her cousins, and they're down the street coming by because we just left that red prairie place with the steaks. And as we come by, holy shit, we walk in, it's red and black everywhere. Like black walls, red ground, or red ceiling. And then red ceiling, or red walls, black ceiling. Incense and mold everywhere. This was not indicative of like every house. A lot of the houses are kind of run down. Not many people have like taken care of them, but the insides are usually great because the landlords want to rent them. You got
someone bleaching them and cleaning them up.
Well, it turns out they had torn out the carpets, the flooring, cut holes into the flooring so they could reach the underground. They created a
secret
space under their ground on top of their basement to put shit, deal with piping, whatever.
It's smuggling.
They kept saying they replaced all the plumbing, except when you looked where they replaced the plumbing, they also didn't replace the wall to get to the plumbing. And then the sinks were gone. And then they also left a note on the back of the door that said, no toilet paper. Pee, poo, flush, toilet paper goes in the trash.
So they don't have the
Plumbing is probably fucked.
Yeah.
So out of courtesy and Southern comfort, hospitality, I continued because all of a sudden my daughter and cousins and all those people just walked in the front door. They knew we were going here, but I've never just had somebody show up to a meeting with all the children intact. It was very awkward. Now I couldn't get out of it because the kids wanted to see it. Mm-hmm. So as we're walking over what I'm assuming heroin needles or crack pipes could have been everywhere this afternoon, I'm holding children like,
hey kids, how you doing? No, don't get down.
Out of curiosity, she was like, oh yeah, my son's got a bedroom downstairs in the basement. If you want to check it, go ahead. She really thought she was getting $65,000 today from me. So I go down there, red lights all the way down the hallway, underground, light bulb looks like it was cracked open. Probably took it to smoke out of. And it is a wreck. It looks like spent condoms were tied off. Oh, it was disgusting down there. It was, I'm telling you, disgusting. So as I run my kids back up, I'm like, okay, are we done? And she's like, no, let's look at the kitchen. So we go kitchen, backyard, and then garage. Garage is bolted, does all that, but it looks like it's a brand new garage. She wants to talk for a minute. Daughter, cousins already ran out. They were like, oh, Jesus Christ. Basically, she wants $65,000 cash by now, like tomorrow. Like, no wait, no think about it, no nothing. It needs to be now. We're moving to Kentucky, and your money's going to get us there. Or it's rent to own. You give me $37.50. I'll write you a deed. And here's where I thought, oh, what the fuck you mean? A deed is a deed. You can't just write one. Mm-hmm. You can write me a contract. No, I'll write you the deed. I'll write the deed to you. And I'm like, okay, it could be like idiocy where all of a sudden you're like thinking something's the way it is. And she was very confused. So I'm like, oh, no, we'll think about it. We're in the market to move, but it's going to be a couple of weeks. We didn't think you were moving tomorrow. Oh, yeah, we're getting out of here now. We've got to go to Kentucky for my boyfriend's mother or whatever. Boyfriend pops out. Hey, I got to be somewhere. Nice to meet you. Didn't ever really meet you. I just saw you walking by with all the shit inside. And so we got out of there as fast as we fucking could, and then I blocked her number. So if you're watching this, because I did tell you what my podcast was, you really need to get off whatever it is you're on. I'm sorry. There are places that can help you, but that was one hell of a crack house tour. They polished it, but there's walls missing. There's floor that had been cut with a saw, and said, oh, you should keep this the way it is right in the middle of the living room. It's access to the underhouse in case you got to fix something. What the fuck? Never am I've dealt with crazy realtors and whatnot, but I've never been in a home like that. And my wife was trying to run the whole time. I should have just let her run. It would have been way more content if a bunch of white people were running out of this house like that we had found a person. Oh, there was a room that was bolted shut. Her son's room. We don't got the key, but it was padlocked. It could have been a meth camp, like one of those barrels because of the mold smell. Mm-hmm. It could have been making meth there. It could have been not their house at all. They could have been.
They're just trying to like sell you this random house.
Yeah, like the guy who sold the bridge. And then when the cousins came, they kept saying, "Oh, there's probably a girl locked in that room, and she can't get out. We need to break in and find her." Like sarcastically.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking to myself, if they're going to Kentucky, they're never going to make it back. Never. Like there's more drugs in Kentucky than there are in Oklahoma. There's more, It was a bad experience. The rest of the fucking trip was hilarious. And the content, I will never forget walking my son down to that bachelor pad and seeing what I saw and going, oh, this looks like an entertaining spot.
Goodbye.
Bye. I was like, I need to get out now. Cabinets were missing. I'm telling you, this place was gutted, and it looked like they paved over with like Clorox wipes everything and taken everything out, locked it in a room, put some incense in the air. That was the hospitality of this crackhead I found at Hirsch's. It's like a 7-Eleven crackhead. Imagine a 7-Eleven crackhead who has a $700,000 house. Mm-hmm. because it's 10x.
Because it's cheaper out there. They
Dude,
brought their
it's
California money over.
Everything is 10x here. This should be Grant Cardone should run for fucking governor here. He has a 10x rule that he sells everybody. Everything needs to be 10x, bro. I didn't get my jet for tax-free for nothing. 10x, bro. Instagram. But in my opinion, Newsom has got everything 10 times as expensive right now. Even Schwarzenegger moved out of California, I believe. And he's like...
He was the governor.
He was, it's California. You need the money. We need the money. We need the visitors. Come to California. We got wine.
Get to California.
Yeah, get to California. It was way before his love childs and his problems and whatnot. Now he does like the slap boxing champion stuff. But holy shit, Oklahoma is where I'm going to be. I could buy a piece of land, sit there, work, go home, work, go home. No problem. No problem. Somebody wants on my land, I shoot him. Here, somebody wants on my land. Sorry, you can have it. That's it.
Not the children.
Not the children. But you know how many people that we got alerts over and over again of people coming in the backyard? Like 4 or 5 times. I assume it was the in-laws. Assume. But the in-laws had COVID. So nothing stolen from the backyard, but I'm pretty sure somebody was living on our grass because that's California.
Couch cushions were all fluffed up back there.
Yep. Now you got me. It was an interesting week, though. There's more to come. There's a whole breakdown. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell, the icon. We'll be here. Boy, what comes next? It's going to be a good one.
I reckon.
Yeehaw, everybody. See you later.
Yeah, life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past. But knowing me, my DeLorean will probably